Hey folks, I have a quick tutorial for you today addressing a common question in the comments area. How do I disinfect the endo files that are used to push the sealer down to the apex during the advanced hydraulic condensation technique, which, as you guys remember, is the idea of injecting the sealer coronally in the coronal half or a third and then pushing it down with a file in order to be safe instead of trying to inject directly all the way to the apex. Well, that's really a legit question, and I think it deserves its own little short video. So let's get down to it. Okay, we've got a few different options here for this step. The first option is obviously the most straightforward, but also the most expensive one, and that is the use of a brand new file for that specific purpose. If you want to have the absolute certainty and don't mind the extra cost, then you could use a straight file from the brand new package. But since these files are fairly expensive and money doesn't grow on trees, then let's take a look at a couple of other options for the specific purpose. Now, the second option is to reuse old files that are not seriously damaged, but then you no longer plan to use them for instrumentation. And what you could do here is you can re-sterilize them and then in the autoclave and then leave them in a little separate batch as a bunch of loose files that you could specifically use for this purpose. This way, they're clean and autoclaved and ready to use whenever you need them. And I think probably a 2504 is generally a pretty good size for this specific purpose. But here's the trick that I use usually myself. I take a file 1 or 2 sizes smaller than my master file that I use during my instrumentation so that it doesn't cut dent in when I use it in reverse direction, and I disinfect the surface right before using it for the sealer. And the method that I use is quick and practical. Here's how I do it. I remove the needle from the sodium hypochlorite syringe, and then I insert the file's tip into the syringe hub. I rotate the file inside the hub for about 20 to 30 seconds to expedite the contact and the surface disinfection with sodium hypochlorite. And this makes sure that the surface is nice, clean, and disinfected. And once you're done, just dry the file with a piece of gauze and then you're good to go. Now, the file is clean and safe to use for pushing the sealer down to the apex. I hope that this little tip here was helpful to you and it's going to streamline your workflow, whether you choose to use a new file, autoclave an old one, or use the technique that I told you by disinfecting the file mid-procedure. Remember that the key is to ensure that any instrument that you use inside the canal before obturation is as clean as possible, ideally sterilized. Thanks for watching and share this if you found it helpful. See you guys all next time.